Hello everyone, in this video I would like to show how can we set up the communication between the Kepware KEPServerEX and the TwinCAT3 controller. In this video I will show two scenarios. One scenario that is we install the KEPServerEX and the TwinCAT3 into one laptop, into one system. The second scenario that is really unique, we will use two machines. One machine install the KEPServerEX, another machine install the TwinCAT3, or basically the second laptop is running as a Beckhoff controller. One of the reasons the second scenario is very special, that's because the KEPServerEX, this software doesn't have a ADS, the driver inside. So if this KEPServerEX standalone installed in one laptop, so you have to install the ADS, the Beckhoff driver, into this laptop. Otherwise, you cannot communicate with one remote Beckhoff controller. So you have to install the ADS driver with this KEPServerEX. That's why I wanted to show this video. And in my test from the KEPServerEX side, I will use the latest software that is a 6.8 version. And the Beckhoff TwinCAT3, I will also use the latest program. We can download the TwinCAT3, click this button, and go to the engineering, and download the latest version, 3.1 4024.7. That is the latest version till now. And in this video, I will use two virtual machines, and one virtual machine will run the TwinCAT3, basically run a simulated Beckhoff controller. Another virtual machine, I will install this Kepware software and use this KEPServerEX to connect the TwinCAT3 controller. Basically show a remote connection from remote desktop or laptop. That computer installs KEPServerEX and remote connect one TwinCAT3 controller. Alright, let's start from the Beckhoff side. To set up the TwinCAT3 project, we click here, right click, and start the TwinCAT3 XAE. And once we set up the TwinCAT3 project, we go to the GVL and set up add one global variable list. I already set up this global variable list. The default name that is a GVL. And in this GVL, I set up 4 data here. UI data 1, 2, 3, 4. They are unsigned integer. Declare 4 integer data here. And in the main, we can program a very simple logic. For example, GVL.data4 equal to GVL.data1 plus GVL.data2. We put a very simple logic. And after we declare the tags and the variables, and other than this, we need to check one more important setting. That is in the PLC side. Once you double click your PLC project, here the target files, we need to click this TMC file, click this TPY file. So after we click this selection, once we compile our project, there will be one file that is a TPY file. That TPY file includes all the tags you generated and you declared. So those tags will generate it in a TPY file. So this. Other than this, we will also need to check one important information. Check this. So currently my PLC project, that port number that is 851. From here, from the router, and change AMS NAT ID. Currently in my system, this computer system, my IP address that is 192.168.0.210, and AMS NAT ID, it will add a 1.1 here. But this is my computer IP address. Keep in mind this. Okay, so other than this, to run this TwinCAT3 project in my computer in the real time here, we need to read from the target and select this isolated, because I will use one core of my CPU to run as a simulated TwinCAT controller. Make sure all those tasks use the same color with this isolated core. Select this set to target. Okay, and after this, we can compile our project. And after you compile your project, you will find under your project directory, under the PLC folder, there will be a file, the name that is a PLC project name. My PLC project, I name it a PLC COM. It will generate one TPY file here. Inside this TPY file, it has all the text name. We will use it after. Okay. So firstly, let me download. Check out this auto start. So after we download the hardware, it will automatically start. In run mode, okay. Currently it's downloading. Okay, once you see this square green showing like this, one yellow gear running inside, that means our controller is running. Now I'm using this virtual machine and I'm using my laptop running as a simulated TwinCAT3 controller. And other than this, keep in mind here, so currently our software haven't run yet. If we go to the main, currently that is offline mode. Okay, once we hit this login, that time we will download the software side. And once you see this status, that means your controller is running and your logic is running. Okay. Currently the TwinCAT3 side is done. It's complete. And now I'm still using this virtual machine. I installed this KEPServerEX software together with this TwinCAT3 software. That is scenario 1. The KEPServerEX software installed together with the TwinCAT3 software. Okay, let's double click. Okay, so click this connectivity. Right click, new channel. From the job list, let's select the Beckhoff TwinCAT. Okay, click next. The channel name, we will name Beckhoff. Network adapter, I will select my actual network. The IP address that is 192.168.0.210. Select OK. And those we can leave as a default. Finish. So after we build up this channel, we will build up this device connection. Double click device. Okay. The device, we can call that PLC COM TC3. Okay. From this job list, it has a TwinCAT PLC. This is the BCBX controller. BCBX are K-bus terminals. So basically, we will select TwinCAT3 PLC. TwinCAT PLC, that is a controller. And then click next. And here, this ID is very important. If you recall, I just introduced the AMS ID number. Actually, here we need to type in that. To find out the ID number from your system or from your actual Beckhoff controller, you can go to right click, click the router. If you need to check out your local machine, you can select this, change AMS NAT ID. In my virtual machine, that is using this. Okay, I will type in here. If you try to find one remote controller somewhere, you can use the router. Click the router, edit routers, and you can click add. And from here, you can type in the remote Beckhoff controller. And once you hit this broadcast search, you will find the AMS address used in the controller. So from my list, you can find I connected two controllers before. This is the AMS ID number those controllers they used. The AMS ID plays very important role for the Beckhoff controller communication. From my personal understanding, this AMS ID actually plays a role for the communication. From this router, we build up the IP and AMS ID connection, so allows your software can find out one controller, but actually the controller is using this AMS ID for the communication. Personally, I would recommend you can change this AMS ID when you download to the controller in your project. So change this AMS ID align with your IP address of the controller. So every time you look at this AMS ID, so you know what the role, which controller you are downloading or you are communicating. So this is my personal recommendation. All right, let's go next. We will paste this ID number here. Select next. Select next. Till here, this is very important. This port number, if you recall, so when we set up this project from here, I'm going to offline, double click. The port number for this controller, we are using 851. So we will select 851. Okay, select 851. If you always click the next, you will skip and ignore this port number. Okay, select next. Default type will select Word. Okay, and from here, that's very important. The import source. So that's we can select how we can import, how we can scan the symbol tag, because we generate that TPY file. So that's why from here we can select the file, and from this browse we can browse our project folder. So like this is my project folder, and under the PLC directory we can select this file. The file name, this is our PLC project, PLC COM, and this name, this is a TPY file. Click open. Okay, click next. Click next. And double check the IP address and the port number. These two are very important. And one more thing, that is this directory. We select the directory of that TPY file. Finish. From here, we can right click the properties. And basically, the next step, we will stay in the KEPServerEX and generate the tag. And because we already generate that TPY file, so there will be one selection, go to the tag generation. If we hit this create tags, it will automatically generate the tag file. That's very convenient. Okay, we hit this create tags. And we will see here already updated. And we hit this OK. And if we recall, in the global variable list, we created 4 tags here, so it show up. So to test the data, we can click this quick client. Browse the same folder. Beckhoff device TC3 PLC COM GVL here. And now the value is showing good. Okay, so if we type in, okay, double click, it will show the properties. To write the value, we right click and write this, synchronize the write. For example, I will type in 10, hit the apply, it will write a 10 here. Click the OK. In the data 1, we can write the number 12. And here, let's say 24. Okay, so we will see that data 4 got a 36. That's because in the TwinCAT3 controller, we put the simple logic add a 1 and a 2 together equal to the data 4. So we will see 12 add 24 equal to 36. If we go back, we leave this here. Okay, we will see this data is updated and synchronized. To monitor those data, we can click this data, click this add watch. So we will build up one watch list, add watch, and also we can type in here gvl dot UI gvl dot data 3. We can see this data. If we manually change the data on data 3, for example, we can double click this prepared value. Let's change to 45. Okay. And to write the value, if you right click, there's no selection to write. To write those 45 to the actual online data, we need to hit this small button. We name the write value. Once you hit this button, it will write the prepared data to the online data. And we will see here the data 3 is changing. So that means the CAP server now, they are communicating with the TwinCAT3 controller. But now, keep in mind, now I'm still staying in this same laptop. That means the CAP server, currently we are testing the CAP server installed in the same machine with a TwinCAT. So next step, I will use another laptop, install the KEPServerEX to do the remote connection with this TwinCAT3 controller. So the story will be a little bit different. Okay, we will leave this virtual machine here. I will minimize. Okay, this is another laptop. And this laptop, I set the IP address . So in this laptop, that IP address, that is a 0.211. Okay. And I installed the 6.8 version CAP server. So we will use the same way. If we double click the KEPServerEX software, again, the same way, we will build up the connection, TwinCAT3, Beckhoff TwinCAT3. Next, the channel Beckhoff. Okay. Select this IP address, that is this virtual machine's IP address. Click OK. Click OK. And my two virtual machines are connecting together. So that basically show two different machines. Okay, click next. We build up this station here. And next step, let's build up the device. Double click device, TwinCAT3, remote controller. Okay. Next, select the mode, TwinCAT PLC, click. And this ID, that is the Beckhoff controller in the remote station or remote controller. That ID we just introduced. So that ID, that is a 192.168.0.210.1.1 here. Click next. Leave those as a default. Next. 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 And here the port number, keep in mind 851. Click next. Default type word. Okay. And here import the symbolic information file. So same way we will select the file. And this time, because the controller is in a remote station or remote controller or remote laptop, so I will manually copy that TPY file from that controller, from that laptop. I will browse this file. This is the same file under the TwinCAT3 PLC project. Click next. Click. Okay. We go through the setting, double check. Finish. Okay, the same way, we will right click this, click this properties. Okay, click this tag generation. Click this create tags. Meantime, watch this side. Okay, it automatically generates that structure. Click OK. And from here, we will see the same full tags name here. And same way, we click the quick client. Okay, once we browse this GVL, we will see the current status of those four tags. We will see now it's showing the bad. So in this CAP server, that is in a remote laptop, all the settings, they are the same as the setting in the virtual machine number 1. This black virtual machine, that is a number 2 virtual machine. And this CAP server is set as the same way with the CAP server set before. Till here, it's highly recommend you read the document. That document comes from the Kepware KEPServerEX communication with a Beckhoff TwinCAT driver. Check out this Beckhoff TwinCAT driver. And in this chapter here, appendix, there are two scenarios. One scenario, the CAP server installed together with the TwinCAT3. And second scenario, the CAP server software installed in a laptop or computer system. And in that computer system is not installed the TwinCAT software. Okay, actually, that's because we need to download one software. That is a Beckhoff TwinCAT automation device specification ADS communication library. So we can search this library, and then we need to search the file named this. Okay. However, all those pictures showing in the document, they all come from the TwinCAT 2 rather than TwinCAT 3. So I think this video is valuable for you to look at how we can download this ADS file, how we can build up this router to build up the communication with one remote CX controller or Beckhoff controller. Alright, from the Google, let's search TwinCAT ADS. Double click. Click this TC1000 ADS. We will jump to this page, TC1000 ADS. Here's this download software. We need to download this TC31 ADS setup 3.1. This is the same version with your TwinCAT3 software. That means other than those KEPServerEX setting, we need to install this TwinCAT3 ADS software. Personally, I think that's because the CAP server doesn't have this ADS driver. So it needs this driver build up one bridge communicating with one remote controller. And if this CAP server installed together with a TwinCAT3, that because when you install the TwinCAT3, it's already installed this ADS, you will not find this problem. But once you use one fresh laptop, and that laptop did not install the TwinCAT3, and then you use this laptop install the KEPServerEX software, and this software doesn't have this ADS driver inside. That's why we need to install this. Okay, we double click and install that. After you install the ADS software, it will not generate any shortcut on your desktop. You need to search one software. And that software in the menu, it told us that name this. So we can copy this TCAMS remote manager. Okay, we copy and search. Under this directory, TwinCAT 3.1 system, and you will find out this software named TCAMS Remote Manager. Double click. You will find once it's start. So actually that is our TwinCAT routers. And once you start this router, and you will find in the right side corner, and it pop up this. This is the same way as you installed TwinCAT 3. And in this router, we need to build up one router information allows this laptop connect one remote controller. Okay, let's hit this add. And from here, let's type in our remote TwinCAT controller 0 to 10. Okay, hit this broad search. It will search my remote controller there. So from this list, we will double check the IP address and the AMS ID number here. Okay, and then we will hit this add route. So this is the same way we are going to connect one actual controller. I will use another brief video to show how we can connect one actual controller in next video. We uncheck this security ADS. If you are going to connect one actual Beckhoff controller, this user will be an administrator like this, and hit the password. By default, the password is 1. Currently, I'm using another system and running as a simulated TwinCAT3 controller. So in that virtual machine system, that user, I named the automation, and I will type in that system password. Okay, I hit OK. Once this computer build up this connection, so it will show a cross here. And once it shows cross, that means this system is connecting with one remote controller and my remote simulated TwinCAT3 controller there. And we can see here is already changed from bad to good. So we can shrink this, close. Once we shift back to this OPC quick client, we will see those tags are changing from bad to good. If I change the number here, right, let's say 550. Okay, let's shift back to that TwinCAT3. You'll see now in this TwinCAT3 controller, now this data 3 already changed 550. It's same with our remote laptop. Okay, and after we build up this router information, if we hit this, in this system, if we right click, find out this router information, we will find here, it automatically build up this connection information here. It shows one remote laptop is connecting this because my remote laptop, that is a 211. In that remote laptop, it's just install the CEPServerEX software without installing the TwinCAT3 software there. Okay, so that is the connection between the CEPServerEX and the TwinCAT3. So do a quick wrap up. In the TwinCAT3 software side, one important setting that is under the PLC. We go to the settings. We need to check out this TMC TPY files. This is very important. Another important, and other than this, check out the actual port number this controller is using. So by default, in TwinCAT3, most of the time, we will set 851, unless you have a couple PLC in your project. It will build up the PLC one by one, 851, 52, 53. Okay, and other than this, keep in mind, you need to clarify very clear in your mind this AMS ID number. If you are using the laptop for testing wheel, this is highly recommend this IP address is the same with your laptop IP address. If you are using one actual controller, you need to find out this actual ID number from this router list. Find out the actual NAT ID in this list. And in the remote laptop side, let's shift there. And in the remote laptop here, so because the CEPServerEX needs this ADS driver, we need to go to the Beckhoff website, download this ADS driver. And after we install this driver, we need to go to the directory, and we need to go to the TwinCAT directory, find out under this system directory, and double click this. Actually, once we double click, you can build up one shortcut on the desktop. And in this router, we need to build up one connection from this laptop to the remote controller. And once the connection build up, it will show the cross here. And once the connection build up, so you will see the quality. And other than this, to quickly or easier to build up this variable list, when we build up this channel from the properties, we will select, we will import that TPY file. So it allows us, once we hit this create text, it will automatically generate this structure, and the text we build up from the controller side, they will automatically pop up. So that is everything. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumb up. If you like to watch more videos in my channel, please subscribe. See you in next video.